Thought Bubble Audio.
Look, up in the sky!
You will never find the more wretched hive of scum and villainy.
Welcome to Beer with Geeks with Tim and Frank.
Who are you?
I'm Batman.
I am Iron Man.
Your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
Hi, Christopher. I'm Nero.
My name is Inigo Montoya.
You're a wizard, Harry.
A couple of guys with a couple of beers and a whole lot of pop culture nostalgia.
Make it so, number one.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Beatles.
Name the dog, Indiana.
Life finds a way.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
Now sit back and crack open a cold one, because it's time for Beer with Geeks.
It comes in paints?
Shaken, not stirred.
Great Scott!
I was way off. I knew it started with an S, though.
Hi, and welcome to Beer with Geeks, where two geeks geek out with beer. I'm Tim, and with me, as always, is my best bud, Frank. How are you today?
Hey, bud. I'm pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing just fine. I am doing just fine. Okay, so, Frank, we're here drinking beer, so tell me what you're drinking.
Well, since you asked, and since you asked so politely, I am drinking a Dogfish Head Namaste White. It's a Belgian-style wheat beer made by Dogfish Head, which is unusual for them, because they're known for the very heavy IPAs. But this is a Belgian-style white ale with, orange peel and lemongrass and coriander and all that good stuff. And they say, and a healthy dose of good karma. And it is delicious. I love it. What about you? What are you drinking?
I am drinking a Narragansett Town Beach Day Pass IPA.
I've had that. I like that.
Yeah, it's pretty good. People are down on the Gansett around here, but I kind of like it.
People are down on the Gansett around these parts. But I think that I feel like they're mostly down on the typical, like the basic Narragansett lager, right?
Yes.
But they make some actually really good.
People love the Del Shandy. That's Narragansett.
Absolutely, it is. Absolutely, it is. And the Town Beach is really good. And they had like a couple of Cthulhu themed ones.
Oh yeah, that's
Remember?
right. That's because he was from Lovecraft. Was from Providence.
Right.
From Providence. Yeah.
So they had like 3 or 4 of them. With like that were a Lovecraft themed beers and with really cool labels on them and everything. It was cool.
We'll see if we get some of those around Halloween. That would be pretty sweet.
Right. Yes, it would be. Actually, I think that's probably when they cart those out. As a matter of fact.
Yeah, Lovecraft, such a racist, so bad. But great.
I've never read any Lovecraft, so I didn't know that actually.
They're actually I'm committing sacrilege by saying this. They're kind of a drag.
Really?
So he writes like he writes like he's from the Victorian age.
Okay.
And so it's very flowery and very descriptive and kind of muddled.
Huh.
But I mean, that's not when he was. He writes like he's from a different time. And so if you think reading Edgar Allan Poe is like, okay, well, it's fun, but it's not creepy or scary anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I think Lovecraft is even more that. Like, just because you kind of like, you take so long to pull it apart that you're like, I'm not scared. I worked too hard.
I'm not scared. I worked too hard.
Yeah, so that's kind of, well, here's a good title for you.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
There we go.
So that's my take on Lovecraft. But I do love the mythology that he kind of created.
Mm-hmm.
We get Arkham Asylum and Batman because of H.P. Lovecraft.
Sure.
Lovecraft, Massachusetts. It's good stuff. You don't get Stephen King without H.P. Lovecraft.
That's true. That's definitely true. Yeah.
Yeah, and you definitely don't get Guillermo del Toro and his craziness without H.P. Lovecraft.
Right.
There's a lot going on there too. So a lot of great even Aliens is in the Mountains of Madness. Alien is basically, or The Thing is a riff off of In the Mountains of Madness. That's what it is.
That actually makes a whole lot of sense. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, well, 1, 2, there you go. So, anyway, Frank.
Anyway, this has been Lovecast. If you'd like to hear more about Lovecraft, please send us your emails.
Anyway, Frank, I alluded at the beginning of this episode that we're best buds. I got
We
you
are
that
best
bracelet
buds.
that said best buds on it. Do you remember?
Yeah,
And then-
I'm
and then
definitely
you got-
wearing it
and
right
then
now.
Right, and then you were like, "This is horrible."
Mhm.
Like, and then I was mad at you because you were talking about me behind my back. Oh, wait, nope, that was Joey and Chandler.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes I confuse them for us.
Happens a lot.
It does. Well, you're Italian.
Yeah, you're not.
And I'm Chandler.
Right. Could you be any less Italian?
Oh, my goodness. Yes.
Tutte
No, anyway,
la
so-
fruit.
Oh, tutte la fruit. Yeah.
Hey, buddy, that was some really good French.
I was cleaning my library because I'm in the middle of moving, right? So yes, I have a library. All of you shut up. And my office, and I was in the middle of cleaning it and packing, getting rid of some stuff, and I was like, I'll put on the first season of Friends, because I can just listen to it. I know what's happening.
Totally, yes,
totally. And I was like, I'll just watch the couple episodes. I'm on season 7 now.
Nice. How long ago did it start?
That was like 2 weeks ago.
Nice.
Maybe
That's
3.
great.
I watch like 2 or 3 episodes a day, or maybe sometimes more, and you just plow through it because they're only 20 minutes.
They're so easy to get through. Yeah, like especially without commercials, you just zip right through them.
Right, like butter. But anyway, I want to talk about. I know you hate choosing, but I'm going to make you choose. This is what this conversation is.
That's like been a whole theme of this entire show. Like the entire run of Beer with Geeks has just been, I know you hate choosing, but I'm going to make you choose.
Yep, that should have been the name of the show.
I'm going to make you choose.
You choose. All right. So what I want to have a conversation about who the best guy friends are in geekdom.
Yeah.
Apart from
us, so that's
obviously.
a given, right? So everybody gets that.
Fictional guy friends, fictional characters.
Frank and Tim are like the free space on the bingo card. It's like everyone gets one of those.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. So I'm going to list a bunch of duos, and then we can see we can measure it up. And I'm actually going to add one in that's not in the list that I pre-sent to you. Okay. So the list is as follows: Han and Chewbacca, Batman and Superman, The Thing and the Human Torch, Kirk and Spock, Frodo and Sam, Harry and Ron. And if you notice, they're all from all different things, but I'm going to circle back to DC, Booster Gold and Blue Beetle.
Ooh, good one. I was going to say you left one out. I was going to say the hard traveling heroes of Oliver Queen and Hal Jordan. But
ooh, yep.
But
we could do a just DC who are the best buds of DC.
Yeah, we totally could.
Sure. Well, I mean, if you want it.
And you mentioned earlier that we should do a whole separate one of just like the female duos that are so
right.
iconic. Because there's enough to do 2 separate shows because the lists are so long.
Absolutely, Harley and Ivy.
Exactly.
And you could just go and go. So anyway, so I kind of limited it to all these things. So maybe we'll do maybe I'll leave Booster Gold and Blue Beetle out of this list for now, and one day we'll circle back and do a just DC Comics one,
okay,
and just a Marvel Comics one, and just a Star Wars one, or something like. We'll go down and be more specific. But for now, let's do the broad one.
Sure.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to start backwards. Do you want to talk about the pros and cons of kind of each relationship, and then we kind of decide at the end?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Who's the best?
Yeah, that's a great idea, actually. Yeah.
All right. So let's just start. So instead of going back, let's start with Han and Chewie. So Han and Chewie are best friends. They're co-pilots for life. # co-pilots for life.
Mm-hmm.
We know because of Solo that Han had freed Chewbacca from slavery and from capture, and he's like, we're going to be friends. And they formed a bond very quickly. And so, so pros to their relationship, always there for one another, bear hugs,
yep.
Can call each other stupid and not mean it.
Mm-hmm.
Laugh it up, fuzzball.
Yep, exactly.
So what are their cons to their relationship then?
The cons, well, they're it's the other side of one of the pros is that, because they're like inseparable, it's like Chewie's always away from his family, right? And like
as we saw in the Christmas special,
the holiday special definitely put that front and center for us that, Itchy and Scratchy and everybody else were all left behind and sad. I only got to see their dad once a year on Life Day. Those are their names.
I know, but it makes me think of The Simpsons. Like, oh goodness, you're right. Actually, that's a great point. And in some ways, they don't really have a family that way. I mean, I don't think Chewie being away from his family is actually canon. Like moving the holiday special.
Sure.
away.
Yeah.
You know, but they are so inseparable that they actually don't have a family. They are just each other's family until Han marries Leia. You know, she's the Yoko because she kind of breaks them up. Right?
But only for so long.
Only for so long. So Chewie's the Yoko. No, that doesn't work.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that.
Chew-Yoko. This is Chewbacca and his wife Chew-Yoko. No,
sure.
Doesn't work. Yoko Baka.
No. That's closer.
That's pretty good. All right, so anyway. So, Han and Chewie, cons, they don't speak the same language. Right?
True. Although in Solo,
language.
Han does speak a little bit of Shriwook. So there is that.
This is true, but there could potentially... I don't know. There could potentially... Is Han... Okay, so are they best friends, or is Chewie just always fulfilling his life debt?
No, they're friends. I think it starts out as life debt, but no, they're friends for sure.
They're friends.
For
They're
sure.
friends. Are they more like work friends because they're
No, they're like
smugglers together?
They're like platonic soulmates.
Platonic soulmates. That's precious.
You know what I mean? Like they're meant to be together. They're each other's
all
other
of
half.
These characters are platonic soulmates.
Honestly, yes, you could probably make that argument for just about all of them. But these two for sure, I could definitely say like I would call them platonic soulmates.
All right, very good.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna move on. Next
All right.
one, Batman and Superman.
Yes, these two I wouldn't necessarily call platonic soulmates. I think that Lois is Clark's soulmate, and I don't know who's Bruce's soulmate.
Rage.
Okay,
just Alfred.
Rachel. Sadness, loneliness.
Sadness.
Bats. Just bats. His soulmate is just bats.
No, I'm of the camp that I'm of the Catwoman camp
Okay.
personally. If you
that's what I wasn't sure. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So Selena's his soulmate.
That's correct. I would almost give it to Talia, but she's kind of like the bad girl you're not supposed to date.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I guess they're all technically the bad girl that you're not supposed to date, but
yeah,
in the grand scheme, it's more like Selena's the past, but she's working through it, but Talia is just always going to be evil. So, anyway, Batman and Superman, they're interesting best friends because they're definitely separable. They lead separate lives, right? And they definitely don't agree on everything or most things or something like that, but yet they are still linked together in a way that maybe goes beyond agreeing with one another, which is why I think they're such powerful best friends, because despite their differences in the way they look at the world and them teasing each other and then talking to their others about each other and all that, they are still bosom buddies.
Yep. For sure. Yeah, they are, different sides of the same coin. There's lots of stories from throughout the whole history of DC Comics showing these two as like they're sort of like how a very similar person ends up in different situations because of different upbringings, right? Where Clark has the nurturing home and the nurturing family, and Bruce is an orphan. We often see that, so they're kind of the nature versus nurture thing of what happens when two very similar people have very, very different lives.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's a great. So, did you read Tom King's issue about the double date between Batman, Superman, Catwoman, and Lois?
No, I don't think I did. No.
Yeah, it's. You're not reading Tom King's Batman run at all, are you?
I'm not. I haven't been.
Oh, you're missing out. It's so good. But you can actually just read that one issue if you want. If you want great Batman, Superman back and forth, it's like good banter in the way that like Superman, Batman, Public Enemies is good banter.
Yeah,
Or the Supergirl arc, Supergirl or Apocalypse. If you watch the movie, it's like that. It's really great. So anyway, so they're so diametrically opposed, but they're so united at the same time. So anyway, so that's Batman and Superman. Right
on.
Okay, let's go to the Thing and the Human Torch. Okay, they get on each other's nerves.
Yes,
more than anything else. You could make the case that it's actually the Thing, and it's the Thing and Mr. Fantastic that are best friends. Because that's the original breakdown.
Right,
They're supposed to be the best friends, and Johnny's just the kid brother of Susan.
Right.
But over the years, they've kind of like moved away from that and have made Ben and Johnny more of the duo.
Right. And they have this sort of charming interplay, right, with the sort of the way the kids are friends, where they sort of they rag on each other and they tease each other a bit.
Right. Pranks. To me, it almost feels more like Big Brother, Little Brother.
Than
best friends.
Sure.
Yeah, that's almost where I dock them. I think they do care about each other a lot, but it's almost like Ben's always looking out for Johnny as opposed to seeing him on equal ground.
That's one of the things about the Fantastic Four in general is that they're more akin to family than they are, I mean, they
friends.
They literally are. The three of them are literally family.
That's right.
But yeah, like it is more like a family book than it is a superhero friends teaming up book.
Friendship book. You're right. That's good. Spider-Man and his amazing friends.
They're amazing.
They're amazing. Great. Let's move on. We'll do that another time.
Okay.
Kirk and Spock.
Where to begin with these two? You could do a whole episode just on these two.
Hot take. It's not Kirk. I don't think Kirk and Spock are best friends.
Okay.
I think Kirk and Bones are better friends than Kirk and Spock.
It's arguable. It's definitely a case can be made for that. I would direct your attention to the end of Wrath of Khan.
You forever and always will be my
friend. Right?
Not my best friend.
Friend. Yes, my friend. But even saying that was a big step for Spock.
Yeah, a big step. But Bones would have just said it.
Nah, he would have had more of a damn it, man, I'm a doctor, not a lovemaker. Or, he would have had some kind of
and then he dies.
and goodbye.
I'm dead, Jim.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. I'm dead, Jim.
It's brilliant. Anyway,
it's good.
So anyway, leaving Bones out of it, what your take? Because I've talked a lot. What makes Kirk and Spock great friends?
Okay, so Kirk and Spock, what makes them so great is that you've got Spock who is on. What makes them great is that Kirk teaches Spock how to be human. That is the arc of their relationship. From the very first time we see them together to the very last time we see them together, that is the arc of what's happening. Is Spock is learning how to embrace his human side, and Kirk, throughout the exploration that they go through, right, and of course the whole thing is allegory and is symbolic of the human condition, but specifically Kirk through his weirdness in being human and the illogical nature of being human is teaching Spock how to embrace his human side. And that's what brings them together.
Okay. What does Kirk then get out of that?
I think that Kirk actually learns more about humanity by seeing it through Spock's eyes. I think it's a little bit like the way when this is simplifying it, but like when you're raising a child, right? And you suddenly see the world through the kid's eyes and you gain a new appreciation for life by teaching your child. I mean, you're a teacher. You must get this to some extent, right? You gain more appreciation for the text that you're analyzing or whatever it is by teaching someone else.
Sure. Absolutely.
So
okay.
That's my take.
So in a way, Bones is almost like your fun friend, like the one that we're going to go to the bar. We're going to go to the alien strip club or whatever.
They're definitely best friends. Like, I'm not saying they're not, but if we're talking about the Kirk and Spock duo, then that's my take on why they're best friends.
You actually won me over.
All right.
I was really like, when I made this list, I'm like going in strong. It's definitely Kirk and Bones. It's definitely like, not that I don't love Spock or their friendship, but I think there's almost a respect to Kirk and Spock's relationship that Kirk doesn't have with Bones. Not that they don't respect one another, but there's like an elevated sense of respect.
It is. That's more like they're the friends that go back to like grade school. You know, like they've seen each other through everything, and Spock is sort of the newer. He's like the friend he made as an adult.
Yeah, and sometimes those end up being closer friends because friends by longevity don't always mean that they are your closest friends.
Yeah, sure.
You might step back and go, "Why am I friends with you?" You know,
that's sad.
Yeah, I actually don't have anything like that.
I don't have any of those.
No, but you certainly like I've seen people go through that where you're like you just go through completely different paths and like you know, one of the use like white bread and like plays it safe, and the other one's like, I'm gonna do a black mass and summon demons.
Very dark.
Like,
very.
I don't know. Trying to go in a different direction here.
Sure,
but you know, like sometimes you just end up on different paths.
Totally. Yes.
Okay, good one. So Frodo and Sam from Lord of the Rings. I don't know how much you have to add to this conversation.
They went there, and then back again, and there was a ring, and there was a fire and a dragon, and he was all like, "Bah, my treasure," and they were like, "No," and he was like, "Okay."
Nope, that was kind of The Hobbit and some of Lord of the Rings, but you definitely mushed them together.
Well, then there's a whole, there's an eye.
Good, yeah, that's better. Actually, that's better.
Not one tower, not one.
Two. Two. There's two of them. You're correct. Yeah. What returns? The king. That's
king.
Who. Yeah.
Elvis.
Elvis. So Frodo and Sam. Frodo's been given this task of going to destroy the ring, and Sam is spying on him for Merry and Pippin, and then so they know like what's happening with Frodo. And Gandalf's like, well, you have to go and help Frodo now because you were spying in the grass. And Sam's like, okay. So there's this kind of, and Sam's already working for Frodo, so there's already this kind of like master servant dynamic to them, where Sam sees it as his responsibility to look after Frodo because Gandalf told him to, and that becomes through like a place of love and friendship, but it doesn't necessarily start that way.
Okay.
That's interesting. You could argue that they grow into their friendship. Not that they weren't friends before, but they move into an equal playing field of friendship.
Okay.
By the end, because if you look at the film, there's a bit in the film where Sam leaves Frodo. Frodo tells him to leave, and he does. But in the book, Sam never leaves his side. Like literally, never leaves him. He's always there for him for whatever he needs. And that's a good friend.
That's
a great friend. Even Han leaves Chewie. I mean,
yeah, right.
If you think of it, even Chewie at one time is like, smell ya. I gotta go do some stuff. So that's pretty great. Last one, Harry and Ron, Harry Potter and Ron Weasley. Ron Weasley. Harry Potter. Harry Potter. So here's my take. Ron's kind of a jerk.
Yeah, I was going to say that I think that Harry is a much better friend to Ron than vice versa for the most part.
With the fact that Harry didn't dump Ron as a friend a long time ago is crazy.
It's testament to that fact.
Yeah, I think in books 1 through 3 they're fine. By the time you get to Goblet of Fire, he becomes jealous, and that pretty much stays. That's a constant in Ron's life through the rest of their friendship, at least up until Deathly Hallows. So there's this constant level of tension between them, and so Ron's kind of a jerk. And arguably, I don't think that they are best friends. I guess because they can always pull each other back.
They are
to that place. They definitely, you know what I mean. But they definitely grind each other's gears more than most what most people do, which you would call friends, right?
Sure. Yes, I agree with that.
Because they're teenagers and they're basically at boarding school, so they see each other all the time. They just get sick of one another.
I think that's it. It says that they're roommates, like they live together, and they're kids, so there's an immaturity factor too. It's not like you can't really compare it to some of the other friendships that we're talking about. At least not on exactly the same playing field. because they're kids. And Ron, it's in their teen years that Ron, because when they meet, they're what, 10, 11?
They're 11.
11. And so by book 4, now they're 14, 15.
That's right.
And that's like when they start competing for girls and stuff like that. And that's for sure when that jealousy starts, if it happens. And just like Ron's just like kind of annoying. Ron's just kind of an annoying kid who thinks he can't measure up because he's got too many siblings already. And then here's his best friend who's remarkable as well. So that's I can understand. I can understand Ron. I'm gonna give him a break because he's a kid, but also like he's annoying and he's a jerk. Where I think Harry is a much better, like much more mature, much better friend in general. Not perfect, but in general.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I'm impressed how well you just spoke about Harry Potter for not really being like a big Harry Potter
I've
fan.
read all the books.
I know, but I mean, like you like it. It's just not like a fandom of yours. You know
No,
what I mean? Like I would
but
never
I'm familiar.
throw you in that. But I was very impressed.
Okay, thank you. I'll show off my geek cred a little bit. Yeah, for sure. I'm familiar, and I read them and I paid attention and I processed them enough to Jim Dale was reading me all 7 books and
oh, he's the best.
The best.
The Jim Dale audiobooks are the way to read or Harry Potter.
Totally.
Like move over movies, like move over your own mind and imagination. Yeah. Jim Dale's audiobooks are the best Harry Potter experience. Yeah, even Stephen Fry. Get out of here, Stephen Fry, with your British versions.
I never listened to his because I knew I liked Jim Dale so much that I was like, why?
He doesn't have the range of voices that Jim Dale has, so it doesn't feel like an immersive experience the same way. At the end of it, it just always kind of sounds like Stephen Fry.
Yeah.
For everybody, and so it just doesn't feel like you don't get transported.
That's the thing. If you know him already, right? That's what you're obviously gonna like hear like, oh, that's Stephen Fry, and not like, oh, this is the Harry Potter books.
Right. Exactly. Because most people don't know what Jim Dale sounds like.
Exactly.
Otherwise, but a lot of people know what Stephen Fry sounds like. To me, he is always the voice of The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Me too. That's how I listened to that one too. Maybe at your recommendation, as a matter of fact.
Oh, really? It's a good audio. It's a great audio.
It is a good one. It's short.
It is short. He does a great job. He does a great job. So anyway, so those were our duos: Han and Chewie, Batman and Superman, the Human Torch and the Thing, Kirk and Spock, Frodo and Sam, and Harry and Ron. So drum roll. Who do you say is the best one? Drum roll. And Frank.
I honestly have to go with Han and Chewie.
Me too.
Yeah.
I think a lot of these come close. I think like Kirk and Spock come close. Frodo and Sam definitely come really close. But I think you feel a connection for characters that don't speak the same language. There's a connection and a bond between them that is felt far more than almost any of these other characters. Like they are always together. You just don't feel right with only having one without the other. It doesn't work. You need both of them.
They are brothers from another mother. They are two halves of the same. Like they are, as like I said before, like they are as close to being married as you can be. Like they are platonic soulmates.
Yep. I agree. Even like having Chewie around in Last Jedi or something like that, it doesn't feel right just having just Chewie.
He's missing his other half. He's for sure missing his other half. And he can be Rey's co-pilot, but he's always, he's always Han's co-pilot. It's always going to be like, now that Han's gone, there's always going to be like a piece of him missing. Exactly.
I'm so glad we're on the same page. That's why we're best buds.
Best buds.
Wear your bracelet. Anyway, you can find it. You can find us at beerwithgeeks.com and Facebook and Gmail and Twitter. You can rate and review us on iTunes and find us all the places podcasts can be found, such as Spotify and Overcast and other Google Play. All the places.
All the places.
Yeah,
Apple Podcasts.
All the places. You can check out all of our other Thought Bubble audio shows over at www.thoughtbubbleaudio.com, which, of course, Frank links in the show notes every week, don't you, Frank?
Of course I do. You know what's really funny? The other day I overheard it was an old radio broadcast from the late 90s, and someone was
like link in the show notes.
Well, well, it's now a podcast, but it was an old broadcast, and it said, oh, so if you want to go to our web site, you can go to www. Whatever the website period com. I'm not sure what that means, but if you're good with computers, you'll get it.
Oh my God, that's hilarious!
It was really
period com. Oh my God, it's funny how we just all adopted the .com
just so fast.
Yeah, I wish we would adopt saying things like 2018 instead of 2018.
Yeah.
Because people in the 1900s would go, it's 19,008.
Yeah,
it's
right.
1,918. It's
right,
the year 1,000.
Right.
Like, it's 1918. It's 2018.
Right.
That's how years work.
It was a little different in like 2003 because 2003 just does sound a little weird, even though you would say 1903.
Yes.
2003 for whatever reason sounded odd.
It sounded weird to us. Yeah.
But once we got to about 2010, right, that's where it's sort of like, okay, it's. I guess because there's no O. It was like 2010, 2011.
I think it's going to shift when we hit 2020 because 2020 is the thing people know as 2020 and not 2020.
Sure.
It's the year 2020.
Right.
No, it's 2020.
Right. I mean, most people I talk to have switched to 2018, but there are still some people holding on.
Yeah. You live and work with a cooler crowd.
Okay, maybe so.
I don't know if that's true or not. I'm just making
probably a younger crowd, but I don't know.
That's probably true. All right. Well, that was fun. Frank, until next time, cheers.